back. In this video, we're going to talk about Python dictionaries. Python dictionaries are name value pair collections, which are very, very useful in storing amounts of data where we have a unique key and then we have some value that's associated with that key. Very much like you would look up a word in a dictionary, we would look up a key and get the associated value. So you really want to pay attention to dictionaries because you will use them a lot in your professional practice. Now we're going to talk about dictionaries in Python. And dictionaries are very powerful, much more so than lists. And it's different because in a dictionary, we use what's called a key value pair. And that's true in dictionaries in any language. So in Python, that's not really any different. Dictionaries are kind of like lists, but they are done with a key value pair. And they're called dictionaries because it's like using the dictionary. If I want to know the meaning of a word, I look up the word, which is alphabetically stored in a dictionary. And that is the key with which I find the word, because the word is spelled uniquely from other words. At least that's a theory of dictionaries in computer science, okay? Words in English can have different meanings, but in a dictionary in computer science, each key must be unique and it must be immutable, okay? Which means it's not going to change once you define it as a key. So it has to be unique and it has to be immutable, which means you can use strings, numbers, and tuples, because tuples are immutable. So here's another unique place that you might want to use a tuple. Okay, we're going to keep it very basic in this course. So for this course, you're not going to need tuples as keys of dictionaries, but that is done and it is available and it's very, very powerful. And we're going to show you this, but I want to go over the fact that dictionaries are different because they have keys and each key has a value. Now the values, you may have, 18 different elements in your dictionary that have a value 4, as long as they have unique keys. So the key has to be different. The values can be whatever you need. Okay? So let's start with get my cursor on the screen. My dictionary equals, and let's just do that. And if we do that, we have created a blank dictionary. Okay? Again, I wouldn't show you that if you're not going to use it at some point in your Python career. Blank dictionaries, you can set up a dictionary because I can add to a dictionary. So I may just want to get a dictionary defined at some point in my code. So that's useful. It's a lot more useful than an empty tuple, okay? Because I can add to a dictionary. All right? So now let's add a single entry like we did. Remember, for tuples, we had a floating point number and a comma and then nothing. For a dictionary, it's different. Dictionary 1. For a dictionary entry, again, we're going to use curly braces. It's not a set because we're going to put a key value pair. Okay? So if it's language, Python. Okay? Now, this might just be one entry to do with a program, for example. This would not be a good example if I was having a dictionary of programming languages, because you wouldn't want to look up language and see Python when it could be C or whatever. So just follow along that this is one example of a key value pair. Okay? For a particular program, we're saying the language that program is written in is Python. So kind of as an attribute. And this is a single entry dictionary. Okay? Now, let's get into something that's a little more useful and say my dictionary 2 is equal to, and this will make it a lot more intuitive. Capital A is 90. Capital B is 80. Capital C is 70. Capital D is 60. Okay? So, again, they are comma separated key value pairs. There's a key value pair, there's a key value pair, there's a key value pair, and there's a key value pair. Now, notice my IDE has IntelliSense and it colors the values differently than the keys, which is pretty cool. Let's see what happens if I try to make this a capital A. I'm trying to, duplicate key A in dictionary. Okay, now it's a warning. It'll let me run it, but I'm going to get bad results, so I don't want to do that. Okay, so now we'll see if we get rid of that. That should go away as a caution. Okay, notice these eyes are telling me unused, unused, unused. Okay, so there would be nothing to print yet, so we're just going to keep going, but I'm going to save my work so far because that's a very good habit to get into. So now let's just do some printing from this, and let's say print my dictionary 2 and I'm going to say I meant to slash double quote B slash double quote. Okay. Oh, I did have square brackets in there. So we're going to say my dictionary of, and this will make a lot more sense when you see it printed out, colon, and then placeholder 0, quote dot format, my dictionary 2 of, and I'm going to call the position at B. Okay, so I want the value at B, so I call my dictionary 2 with the key, and it will return me the value. Okay, now I'm going to also show you what it looks like. Control C. This way for a reason. Okay? Those should print the exact same thing. I do not want an unintentional indent there. I tend to kind of pause to make sure those go away because the IDE is going to help me quite a bit. So, Python dictionaries. Dictionaries.py. Did I spell it right? Okay. Now, notice I printed it with the double quotes and then I used single quotes and they both worked. And of course the value is 80. Okay? And all I did here was use the escape code to put the double quotes, so I could have just as easily have done this. Okay? and now these will be identical, but this is within the string, okay? This is inside my string, and I'm hard coding this as a literal. So if I'm going to hard code it as a literal, I don't necessarily need these escape sequences to get the single quotes. But normally you're not going to do this. You're going to do this because this will be a placeholder, and you'll put some variable in there as part of the format string, okay? But I just wanted to kind of tease that out a little bit. And so let's just show that I'm right there, that those should now be identical. And they are, okay? But that's rather trivial, so let's show you something else. Error if no key is found. This is important because a lot of students will build dictionaries and not really pay attention to what if the user puts in an entry, or I calculate a key that isn't there. You need to handle that situation or you're going to see this. Okay, and I've got a K in there, and I'm calling my dictionary. Okay, my dictionary is empty. Okay, that's this one. All right, so I'm clearly trying to print something. There's nothing in there, so I know it's not going to find that one. Okay, so let's try it. Let's see what happens when we blow it up. Okay, trace back. Dictionaries.py line 37 module main. Dictionaries.py line 29 in main. Sure enough, there's the print. Here's the key part. Key error K. Key error is Python telling you, hey, this doesn't exist in that dictionary. So when you see key error, it was not found. Okay? So you need to go back and go, oh yeah, there is no key there, right? Now, if I were to call my dictionary 2 and put in D, I should see 60. There it is. Okay? So if it can't find it, you're going to see this key error. All right? So I'm going to put this back, by the way, so that my source code shows that the error was there, but I'm going to comment it out. Okay? All right. Now let's do some adding of elements. Okay? Scroll that up there so we can see it. Let's add some elements. Let's say my dictionary 2, we're going to add an F. Okay? And the way I add the element is I call the key and it isn't there. Right? Well, I just got done saying, well, wait, it's going to create an error. It doesn't on assignment, and I'm going to explain why, because this is very much an under the hood thing. And if you remember my int x equals 4 discussions, this will make sense. This little guy here is the assignment operator. Okay? What I'm saying is take this value on the right-hand side, this 50, and assign it to a place in memory pointed to by my dictionary 2 of F. So Python's going to say, well, I've already got one of these, and he wants me to put it here. This doesn't exist, so I'm going to add it as a new key and put it here. If it does exist, it's going to change the value at this key. Okay? All right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to print my dictionary. And to demonstrate that, I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to change the value to 40. Okay, so this is kind of a 2-for-1, where I'm going to add this element F, show that it exists, then I'm going to show you how to change. So I should do this and say, now changing that element. And to be realistic, let's make this 40, and then let's fix it to 50, let's say, okay? All right, here we go. Let's clear. Ooh, what happened there? Blank and blank. Ah, I called the wrong variable. Let's do that again. Okay, so we've taken my dictionary 2 and added the F key of 40, and then we changed it. Now there's one more thing, just to be picky here. I'm going to print my dictionary 2 ahead of time so that we can see it before the add. Okay, it'll just make it a little clearer if this is confusing for you at all. So here's the dictionary that we initially set up. Then we added the key at F, and then we changed the key at F to be 50. Okay? All right. So we've added and changed elements of a dictionary. So now we can remove elements of a dictionary as well. So let's just say we're going to get rid of that F category now that we just added it. So this is going to be removing elements from a dictionary. And we're just going to say del my dictionary and give it the key. Okay, and then let's print it again. I'm going to copy this again, Control C, Control V, Control Save. Let's clear. Here we go. Oh, I did it again. Oh, no, I didn't. That's correct. I'm sorry. I forgot that it doesn't exist. Wait. Key error F. Delete my dictionary of F. Print my dictionary 2. That's out. This is interesting. Line 39 is crashing. So I've changed it here. And now I'm saying, I don't think that's the double quotes that's doing that. That's really interesting. Line 39. Oh. There we go. And the computer science teacher finally figures out how to spell. There we go. Now it's working great. Okay, so what we've done is we have started with what we started with. We added F, we changed F, and then we deleted F. And what we've learned is that we have to be really careful if we use similar variable names, especially late at night. Okay? So I've added it to dictionary 2, I've changed it for dictionary 2, and now I've deleted it from dictionary 2, and every time I do it wrong, I get a key error because it's trying to do it to this guy, which has nothing in it. So there's no memory allocated for it other than the token that's pointing to an empty one. So it's not going to do anything. It's, that's the way it is. So type your variable names better than I did, and you will have no problems with that at all. But that's a good look at dictionaries. It's a key value pair. Again, big thing to remember. The keys must be unique and immutable. Hint, if you have an assessment, both those words matter for the key. The values can be duplicated. I could make all of these 10, 10, 10, 10, not have a single problem. Okay? The keys have to be unique and mutable. That's it for dictionaries. So hopefully now you've got an introduction to dictionaries in Python. They're really not that hard to manipulate and use, and you will find that they're very, very powerful. Now, in the next video, we're going to start to talk about building methods in Python. Because remember, once we can build methods, we get very close to being able to do object-oriented programming, which is where we want to go next. So take a good look at the next video on methods. See you on the other side.